Welcome to another quick review from Ultimate DIY. Today we are going to look at a PEX crimping tool made by iCrimp. This is a special crimping tool, and if you look at it, it's much different than your typical crimping tool because they're normally going to be straight and have much bigger arms. This one does a couple of things for you. It allows you to get into stud bays and things very, tight quarters. So if you're working on, say, plumbing in a bathtub and you can't get between those stud bays and you're trying to crimp things, this makes it very easy. Not only do you get into those stud bays, but this can be one-hand operation. That's it, fully open, and it's spring-loaded. It goes back on its own. So you get it around it, let it go back, you're holding it, and now you just crimp. I mean, it's one-handed, truly one-handed. So overall, those reasons alone make it worthwhile to pick this unit up. But they use a stainless steel ring that is very smooth, so it is not going to mess up your little rings. Let's pull one out so you can see what I'm talking about. When you have a ring and you're using it and you're trying to crimp it, if it is not smooth, it's liable to make a little indent or a crease, which can cause a water leakage problem. You want a very smooth surface here so that it works good every time. Now, these are going to work with the rings or the sleeves. So whatever system you're using, if it's a crimp system, it's going to work unless you're using the little pinch type. That's a different tool. The tool itself, they have a rubber gripping all the way around it. One thing I really like about this grip is there is absolutely no lines. They have their name imprinted on it, but there is no grooves, no lines. Why that's important is those grooves and lines always collect dirt and grease and make the tool hard to hold after a while, and it just looks nasty. With this, I can wipe it off very easily. Everything in it is going to be steel construction. The tool itself only weighs about 2 pounds, but all the weight is in the head, so it makes it very easy to balance. As a matter of fact, when I picked it up, I was a little shocked at just how much weight it actually had because it seems so small in the picture. Now, you not only get the tool, but you are going to get a really awesome carrying case like this. And inside of the carrying case, they give you some more little goodies that I actually like. They're going to give you an excellent cutter, and this cutter will cut pipe up to 1 inch thick, and it has a little safety glass there. You just push that little lasp down, and it pops open. And now you can cut, and you can make multiple cuts, clean cuts, and like they said in the description, it cuts like butter, and it does. Let me show you on this one. I'm cutting. I mean, I didn't even have to give it any pressure to speak of. That was extremely easy. So we're going to put that right back there where it goes. So they give you rings to start with. They're going to give you 1/2 inch copper rings. Now, this is also made to the standards that are the norm in plumbing as far as the tool and as far as what it can actually crimp and do. So your rings are going to be made to a certain standard, which means you can use most anyone's rings that are out there that are a reputable company, and their fittings are going to be pretty well standardized. So the tool is made to be able to handle those actual parameters, I should say. So they're going to give you 20 of the halves, and you've got 3/4 rings in here. They are going to give you 10 of those. Now, speaking of those rings, the one thing I did not point out, which I need to point out, is this is a dual-headed system. So you have a 3/4 here at the bottom, and then at the top here, I have the 1/2 inch, which means this works both, which, by the way, that is probably the most popular 2 sizes that you're going to use, especially as a homeowner or a DIYer. That is going to be probably 99% of the pipes you're going to come across. Now, if you're in commercial, you may have stuff a little bit larger, and you may find stuff a little bit smaller sometimes. But this will cover the majority of it. A lot of these I see only have 1. Now, there are a lot that do have 2, but there's a big majority of them that only have 1, especially in one like this that's angled for the tight spaces. It also has up in the very corner, you're probably not going to be able to see it on the screen. I'll try to show you when I bring you in close, but it has an adjustment here. So when you use these tools, say over months or years at a time, they're going to tend to get a little sloppy and wear out just a little. I mean, that's a normal part of life. they allow you to recalibrate them up here, up in this corner, and you can recalibrate, make it work correctly again. That is tied with the whole mechanism that springs and everything else. So before I bring you in and show you up close how this works, let me give you just a little bit of a background on PEX in case you don't know. PEX is basically offered in a few different varieties today, but there are two that stand out that almost everyone is using, at least one of those two, if not both. I use both on a daily basis. The one we are looking at right now is the crimp system, and it uses the ring and it crimps like over this fitting. The little copper crimp piece will be crimped onto it, and that's what gives you that watertight connection. And by the way, when you put this on, guys, you'll still be able to generally rotate these on either system. That's normal. Do not panic. That it still should not be leaking there if it is crimped correctly. So that is your crimp. That is PEX B. PEX A is going to use a tool much like this one here, which these will kind of fan out, and they use an expansion ring, which is what this is right here. And it will actually expand out. You slide it onto the fitting and it starts shrinking and tightens over the top of the fitting. So you have expansion and you have crimp. So you have the two different methods. The disadvantage to the expansion, obviously, is you're going to have to buy the tool, and the tools are not relatively cheap. That is the differences. So if you're going into the store and you've got this unit and you're going to do plumbing at your house and you want to change over to PEX, you need to be careful because you're going to have two different types of PEX on the wall, and you need to pick the PEX and the fittings and the PEX itself for the system that you have a tool for that you're going to be using, because even the PEX pipe is different on PEX A versus PEX B. Now, when you first get your PEX, before you put anything on it, you're going to need to have all of your fittings, which there's our ring. This is our actual fitting we are going to use. And by the way, this system works on the poly fittings, which are the plastic like this, and it works on like brass or copper fittings. So it's set up for either or. Now you're going to take the correct PEX pipe and you are going to cut it. You're going to want a very nice straight cut. You don't want it angled. So we are going to take it, put it on, and you make sure that your cut is very nice, very smooth, and straight. Then we're going to take and put the ring on, just like this right here. And then you take and put the fitting in. Now this fitting is 1/2 inch on this side, and we are a 3/4 here. It is a changeover angle fitting. Now you would slide that up, and you're going to get it to where it is almost to the end. You're going to leave a little bit of a space here. And then we are going to take and open this up, and we are going to simply put it right over it, just like that. And I'm going to do this one-handed. Make sure that that is pushed all the way up, and you're over your ring. And I'm going to do it one-handed so you can see that it can be done one-handed. And we are going to crimp down. Now, I will tell you, it will be easier to do it one-handed if you have something like a table or a wall to push against, because it does take a little bit of pressure to get that to work. And when I pushed it all the way in like this, it's done, and then it'll immediately pop up a little. Now to get it off, you got to come off of here, go back, and then take it off the pipe. Now for the go or no-go test, we're going to take the 1/2 inch side, which is right here. And what it should do is it should go all the way to the edge. There it is, right there. Okay, so that, I think I have a little bit of a high spot on one side, and it may be because I did that double crimp while ago. Overall, guys, I think it's extremely easy to use. I think it's definitely going to be a game changer in tight spots. I love the little carrying case that comes with it, so that you can keep this one separate, because this is more of a specialty tool. If I was going to rate this on a scale of 1 to 5, I'd have to give it 5 stars, because I think that they pretty much give you everything you need to get started. And it's so much better in person than I thought it was going to be when I actually got it. So do yourself a favor, pick yourself up one today, and we will see you guys on the next one.